So we've already talked about green units and we talked about red units, so you already know what type of time we're on. Today we're going to conclude the 3-part series in which I talk about characters in OPBR that deserve to be buffed, and we're going to be focusing on blue units in this video. I'm sure you guys already have a specific character in mind, and trust me, we'll get down to the nitty gritty when the time comes. But for now, let's get started. First character on this list might be a bit of a shocker, but I think it'd be a nice treat if this character got buffed. I'm talking about the Navy Fleet Admiral, Aokiji. Did you know that this dude was a bounty fest? Like dog, for the longest I had thought he was just a step up, but nah, apparently he's one of them ones. I mean, clearly it don't reflect in his gameplay though, but you can tell that once upon a time, he was him. One of his traits as a defender is the ability to fill the treasure gauge to 150%, but that's only when there's 120 seconds or more left in the game. Basically, just for a minute. And I mean, yeah, cool, but in this day and age, matches can come down to the last 30 seconds, so this trait in itself is a bit irrelevant. On top of that, there are characters that ignore enemies and still cap, so would he even get the chance to fill it all the way to 150 anyways? Probably not. Now, that's an easy fix if you ask me. Just make it so he does it the whole game. Simple. Another thing he already has is a 5% chance to inflict freeze to an enemy attacking him, but it's only for 6 seconds, and that's just way too short. People are really creative with their status infliction nullification nowadays, whether it be via the characters themselves, the medal sets, or even the support, so that's something they gotta extend to like 15 seconds or something. Or, if you ask me, something better that they can do is just give him invincibility when he gets hit by normals, similar to how it is with Kizaru. I mean, even Katakuri has that trait too, so giving that to Aokiji would be a game changer for him. Lastly, and this will be a running theme in this list, but speed up the normals, speed up the dodges, and speed up the skills. Once we get all that set up, Aokiji will be worthy of that Bounty Fest title, I'm sure of it. Next on our list, we have Amaru Eneru. Lots of people love using his character medal, but very rarely will you see people bring his character into league battles, and understandably so. He's super slow, his normals can't keep up with damn near anyone, and his traits are damn near obsolete considering that the shocks he gives don't last that long anyway. He increases damage to people that are inflicted with shock, but in terms of him dishing it out, it'll only last 3 to 6 seconds anyways. I mentioned earlier how people are very creative with how they distribute their status infliction nullification nowadays, so unless you waste resources by implementing Whitebeard or Warlord support, don't expect to reap the benefits of that damage increase to shocked players. He does have the innate trait to shock characters that are attacking him, but with him being a Logia, I think he deserves the passive invincibility trait also. Whether or not they want to give him both or swap one for the other, doesn't matter to me as long as they give it to him. And finally, of course, as a defender, you gotta 150% this guy too. He only gets 30% damage reduction when he's in this treasure area, and a bit more when he's in the trait area made by his skill 2, that being an extra 40%. It sounds good till you realize the trait area only lasts 18 seconds though. And the biggest problem is that we're in a meta with a bunch of runners that are either heavy hitters or just ignore enemies and cap the treasure. So at the very least, to help him buy time with actual defending, giving him the ability to boost the treasure gauge to 150% would be super beneficial. Or at the very least, let him ignore enemies and still refill the treasure gauge. There's a lot of potential with this guy, so hopefully they give him his just due really soon. Now, this is the part of the video where I was supposed to talk about a specific blue defender that at this point in time we either have grown to love or hate. And I'm talking about none other than Kaido. See, the thing is, when I had originally made this video, I probably had a good segment of this video specifically talking about Kaido and the buff that he needs, the fact that his fall off needed to be studied, the whole 9 yards. But not too long after I had made the video, or at least the audio, and I conjured up all the clips and stuff like that, we get hit with the announcement that new buffs are coming our way, and guess who was included? Of course, Kaido was included. Now, I was kind of spot on with a lot of the things I wanted to talk about, and so you're probably wondering, well, Fred, why are you spending this much time already still talking about Kaido? Because we actually need to get a debuff. Yes, this is the portion of the video where we're actually going to be talking about how we absolutely need to debuff this guy. Because first and foremost, I've experienced being in mist before in real life, but the fact that in this game, if Kaido uses his skill and that mist pops up, not only will it push you back, but it could kill you. And let's not get started on how fast those bro, dude is doing catastrophic planetary devastation, just making these meteors fall from the sky. Not even Madara, bro. And not to mention, oh my goodness, his normals. Oh, bro, you can clearly tell that this isn't even scripted, bro. I'm not even gonna try to like articulate it because I know that you guys are on the same wave as me, bro. We need to debuff this guy ASAP. But now that I got that off my chest, let's go ahead and get back into the original video, shall we? The last unit I'd like to bring up might be a bit left field, but after looking over this guy and seeing the capabilities he currently has, a couple of tweaks would make him a formidable unit in the game. Our last unit on this list is none other than the Land of Wano Zorojuro. See, this version of Zoro is high-key slept on. Already, he has a lot of opportunity for damage increases, which is crucial as an attacker. He gets 30% when fighting in his treasure area, and another 30% when your team has more treasure. There are plenty of medals that can assist with increasing his damage output as well, so again, he's a potential heavy hitter. Also, his skill 1 gets cooled down by 50% when you're in your own treasure area, and you also get your damage reduced by 30%. However, this is a video where we're talking about upgrades these units need, and Zoro could use plenty. First off, like damn near everyone we talk about, we gotta speed this guy up. His normals and skills, despite the firepower they got behind them, are redundant if he isn't able to hit anyone. And speaking of hitting, what this guy needs as well is the ability to nullify stun like a couple other versions of Zoro that we've seen in the game. Since he gets strengthened when he's in his own treasure area, Dark Roger would be facing a lot of issues if he ran into a Zorojuro that could nullify stun. His skills leave a lot to be desired also. Not only should we speed them up, but if we're specifically talking about his skill 1, I personally think making it an invincible skill at the very least could prove to be useful. It's a charge attack, so I don't think your enemy should be able to get the opportunity to damage or even kill you before you get the chance to land the skill. Overall, I get that he's just a step up, so trying to make him broken is a redundant point, but it ain't far-fetched to come to the conclusion that there's a lot of potential with this unit once you actually sit back and see the kit he currently has. So I went ahead and tried to cover as many blue units that I believe need a buff as I could, but I'd still like to hear your guys' opinion as well in the comment section. Let me know, did I cook with these picks or do y'all have better options that I missed out on? Either way, that is going to be it for me today, so until next time y'all, take care.